It's another Sunday. Good afternoon. Welcome to Weekend Central. This bulletin, of course, is coming to you live from the news hub here at Adesawe Kanda. We are live on Facebook. It's TV3 Ghana, and on DSTV is channel 279. My name is George Queening.
And I am Judith Brown. Coming up in the bulletin this afternoon. This afternoon, Chairman of Government and Hospital Pharmacists Association, Dr. Emmanuel Owusu Oriafi, reveals illegal mining causing kidney, liver complications, increasing infusion production. This afternoon, we'll engage him for details. Also coming up this very afternoon, and Ankasa Conservation Park records significant wildlife recovery as hunting close season takes effect. Meanwhile, local choba operators say they are struggling amid bushmeat shortages. And also coming up this afternoon, heads of selected senior high schools in the Eastern region seek clear feed Ghana guidelines amid fears of parental resistance to farming activities. We have details of these and more coming up shortly. Do stick and stay. Welcome once again to the bulletin. We start from here. Well, the national chairman of the Government and Hospital Pharmacists Association, Dr. Emmanuel Owusu Oriafi, has revealed that the effects of illegal mining are leading to increased production of infusions due to rise in cases of kidney and liver complications. He disclosed this to the media on the sidelines of the 16th Annual General Conference of the Ghana Pharmacy Technicians Association.
The issue of Galamsey is a menace to the pharmaceutical sector, and I think as we did indicate from our annual general meeting, we are actually having threat to pharmaceutical production, particularly pertaining to the production of infusions. A number of patients now are being reported with increased issues with, with their kidneys and then with their livers, and it is a menace to the whole population. And that is why we, as the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana, and then the government and hospital pharmacists alike, are calling for swift, decisive action from government. I think we've reiterated severally about the health effects of Galamsey. So the decision should be something decisive, and I think we want a more drastic approach.
And on to education, and some first-year senior high school students in the North Gonja district reporting to school on Saturday had to endure the risky task of crossing the White Volta in canoes without life jackets. TV3's Northern Regional Correspondent Christopher Amuako reports.
Yes, numerous fatalities have occurred on the White Volta River near Daboya due to canoe accidents. These tragedies are often caused by overloaded boats, a lack of life jackets, strong currents, and bad weather. Between 2014 and 2017, 12 persons, including 3 school children, died while crossing the White Volta in Daboya. These incidents raise concerns over the safety of the country's water transport system.
So this canoe you see here carries about 10 passengers at a go, including a motorbike or 2. That is when they have one available. Now the challenge here has to do with the fewer numbers of the life jackets that the operators of these canoes have here at the river bank in Daboya. First-year students are expected to report in school today. We have come here in Daboya to observe for ourselves how these students are able to cross this river to Tamale and other places to attend school. We have observed some of the students crossing without life jackets.
I'm heading to the above mentioned school called Daboya Senior High School. I'm reporting to school, so I have to cross the stream without a life jacket. So it made me scared.
For the operators of these canoes, the life jackets are not enough to supply to all their passengers.
Pasuna betana bekar amba yo ambe sarabatna anya matna karga bum
District Chief Executive for North Gonja District, Abdullahi Nashiru, described the situation as unfortunate and assured that the Assembly is working to provide life jackets to the Canoe Operators Association.
Looking at the limited number, that is why we still see people crossing without life jackets. So it's a worrisome situation, and then we are doing everything possible to procure them in time. So maybe hopefully within this week or next week, the life jackets will be there.
Recently, 11 children and 4 adults lost their lives on the Volta Lake in Krache.
Okay, now let's stay longer on this very development and engage our Northern Regional Correspondent, Christopher Marco. Christopher, it's been a day after this very reportage. Would you say there's been some sort of improvement or the situation is still the same?
The situation is still the same because there are no enough life jackets at the riverbank where which passengers traveling from both ends of the river can use. And so they still have to bear the brunt of traveling across the White Volta River in canoes without life jackets, which according to them is a threat to their lives. But because they do not have any other option, that is why they have to risk it crossing like that. Yesterday, when these first years began reporting to school, we saw quite a number of them going. Today, quite a number of them are moving to and fro the Daboya enclave to the Tamale areas to attend school.
Are you picking any indication from stakeholders that, education in that very region would, be improved?
Yes, so what the stakeholders are saying is that, first of all, with the construction of a bridge along the Volta Lake in the Daboya area would help them because it will open up the place so that the risks they go through crossing this river will be reduced. Now, the other issue has to do with they have to put in other measures to ensure that even as they struggle to cross to these communities to access education, after everything, what is the result? The result might show that, yes, they went through a lot accessing their schools and they have been able to also perform creditably well.
So information we are picking is that concerns are high among stakeholders in education in the North Gonja district over poor, materials among others, educational outcomes at the basic level in the district. And records from the Education Directorate in the district show that over 80% of pupils in the district who completed junior high school between 2018 to 2025 failed to pass their exams. And the stakeholders, of course, are blaming the poor performance on poor school facilities, lack of parental support, and student-related issues such as absenteeism and a lack of motivation. So, Chris, before we wrap up, is it that some of these children are used for, hazardous works, going to the farm among others? Is that what is the case in the region?
That's not really the case. If you go to the North Gonja district, it has a very peculiar case because if you look at the district, it's one of the poorest districts in the country. Now, the Ghana Statistical Service conducted a survey that was in 2023, and the illiteracy rate alone in that district is over 70%. And so that should tell you that education in the area is at its lowest. And so the stakeholders are concerned. If you look at the trajectory of performance at the basic level, it is very worrying because even this year, 2025, out of a total of 447 candidates who sat for the BEC exams, the best grade from the district is 21, second best is 27, third best is 28, and other schools, we have their best grade being 47. And so it is a very serious concern for stakeholders. Let's take a listen to what the District Director of Education has been saying about this performance.
I think the key issue has to do with reading. Just as I said, we did some education diagnosis, and we found out that a large chunk of our pupils cannot read. And if they cannot read, what else can they do? Last year, 2024, 17.7. I told you that I have just come, but we have reviewed the entire results, and we've seen that it's not good. And this year, we have not received they brought the result, official result from WAEC. We don't receive the certified results. So when we receive it, we will sit down with the team, review it, and see the strategies that we can come up with to make sure that we improve the performance.
Before we play the soundbite of the MPA, Chris, I know you mentioned, you talked to him. Can you really sum up what he said before we play the soundbite?
Actually, is worried because he's the member of parliament and all the burden, according to him, is coming to his door and that of the assembly. Now, what he's been doing, according to him, is he has just organized, he's going to organize a forum on the 1st of November to engage stakeholders once again to find out what they think should be done together to ensure that education is uplifted in the area. Secondly, he has also he's constituted an award scheme for students who perform creditably in the BEC exam so that it will motivate others to also be serious about their studies. Let's take a listen to what the Member of Parliament has to say.
I mean, helping to see how we uplift the educational standards. I think I have a better platform now as a Member of Parliament to do it better. And so we have outlined how we're going to tackle it. In the coming days, we will do a stakeholder conference, specifically on 1st November. We invite you, the media, to be part of it. We want to bring all our stakeholders together to brainstorm and see how we can get this results better than we are seeing today. So first of all, I mean, this is very key because all we are doing, if the results don't show, I mean, then it amounts to cost 90. So I want to say that before the end of 2028, we should have this results better than we have come to meet it. And so it's a result that will show. But once we put in the infrastructure, we put in the teacher motivation, we want to put in at the stakeholder meeting, we want to motivate teachers who want to leave the capital and be in the communities to teach. We will have some motivation for them. And so once we put that in place, we will expect the results to be getting better. So my aim in the next 3.5 years is to make sure that we get the results, I mean, as acceptable as a community will wish that they are.
Mayama Shaibu is the MP for the area, and also we engage our Savannah Regional Correspondent, Christopher Marco, in that regard.
Now we're going to head back to our earlier story and concerns about illegal mining causing more liver and kidney complications because Dr. Emmanuel Owusu-Oriafe is a specialist clinical pharmacist and the national chairman for Government and Hospital Pharmacists Association, GOSPA. He's joining us with more details on this. Good afternoon, sir. Now, how exactly is illegal mining contributing to a rise in kidney and liver complications?
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for having me. A number of factors come into play pertaining to the effect of illegal mining on the impact on the efficacy and then the safety of medicines. The first one has actually gotten to do with the pharmacotherapy of the medicines itself. There's one aspect of it that we can directly refer to as the direct chemical inactivation. You know, some of these heavy metals can catalyze the degradation of some of the active pharmaceutical ingredients, which we refer to as the APIs that are used in the formulation of these very, medicines. Some of them can form insoluble complexes with some of the drug molecules and then render them actually inactive. We can talk about particularly mercury and then arsenic, which can bind to some of the sulfur groups in some of these medicines. Apart from that, we also have what we call toxic synergism and then antagonism. And here, the drug and then some of these heavy metals can actually target the same organ. And when that happens, it actually, amplifies the effect on that very organ. For instance, if a patient is say taking paracetamol, which is acetaminophen, some heavy metals like cadmium, are equally hepatotoxic, which means it causes some level of toxicity to the liver. And so if an individual with that condition is, given paracetamol, it will, definitely have an effect. And we can also talk about even the third instance of the alteration of the pharmacokinetics of some of these very medicines that are administered to, the individual. And so we have instances of what impaired liver functions, which can be altered as the drugs are being metabolized, as well as that huge impact also on the kidney function, which will actually reduce the excretion of some of these drugs as well as their metabolites.
Now, what specific trends or data have you observed regarding these increased demands for infusions in hospital?
Okay, I think throughout the health service now, as has rightly been reiterated by some of the other stakeholders, there is actually an increase in renal conditions. I mean, there is an increase in similarly with patients with other, hepatotoxic, conditions, and that is worrying. I mean, by and large, over the various facilities across the country, morbidity issues, that is the incidence of conditions relating to liver and the kidney is on the rise, and it should be a cause of concern for all of us. And as I have espoused earlier, these are some of the, of the factors.
Clearly, it should be a cause of concern, but how is the health sector, particularly hospital pharmacies, coping with this surge in cases?
For us as a hospital, for us as practitioners within the health space, first and foremost, we can only advocate that individuals who have their water sources from some of these affected, river bodies, etc., exercise a greater deal of caution, because whatever way you take it, it will definitely harm you. And so the more or less thing is that don't patronize such water bodies. It's as simple as that. And then if you know that the source of your water, maybe for drinking and for other domestic use is compromised, don't patronize it. And then the other issue of concern, particularly to the pharmaceutical industry, has got to do with the fact that, as part of the production, of particularly the intravenous infusions, more than 95% of them is actually made up of water. Pharmaceutical, companies are having greater difficulty now purifying these, this particular water for use. And when it happens, it simply means that even the cost of these infusions are going to do what? Go up, and it will increase the cost of health financing even across, the total population.
Right. Many thanks for your time. Dr. Emmanuel Owusu-Oriafe is a specialist clinical pharmacist and the national chairman for Government and Hospital Pharmacists Association, GOSPA.
Well, if you just tune in, you watch the Weekend Central here on TV3. In more news this afternoon, the close season for hunting is yielding great results for the Ankasa Conservation Park, according to manager Bora Chire. However, for many local chop bar operators in the area who rely heavily on bushmeat, the ban has triggered a sharp decline in trade, highlighting the economic sacrifices inherent in conservation efforts. Irma Smith has more.
For generations, the rhythm of life in the communities fringing the lush Ankasa Conservation Area has been set to the sizzle of a particular pot. It is the aroma of bushmeat, grass cutter, antelope. And cooking over firewood is sound synonymous with sustenance, tradition, and for many, survival. But since August 1, a government-imposed silence has fallen over these spots. A 4-month close season on bushmeat hunting ending on December 1 aims to allow wildlife populations to recover and breed. Now in its crucial 3rd month, the policy's human cost is coming into sharp focus. even as conservationists work to win hearts and minds. An excited park manager, Bonachiri, reports a notable success. Compliance this year has significantly improved compared to previous years. He applauds the local communities for their support and cooperation.
In fact, so far we are seeing some very good level of compliance, especially within this section, which we call the Amokwa Krema. They are quite very willing to support us to ensure that this ban is properly enforced. Apart from that, the park is also ensuring that we are carrying out roadblock exercises in various parts of the districts and adjoining districts also, so that we can ensure that the public actually comply with this ban. And we are very encouraged by the support that we are receiving, but we'll ask that the public continue to put in their maximum so that we can continue to have our wildlife resources present now and in the future.
But on the flip side, Rhoda Enima has been running a chop bar for 15 years. Her spot, a modest wooden structure with a few plastic tables, is famous for one thing, her bushmeat light soup. The bushmeat ban has crippled my business. I specialize exclusively in bushmeat, and my customers demand nothing else. I tried selling other meats, but they didn't come back. Now I am unable to operate until the ban is lifted. In response to this friction, a sensitization team from the Noe and the local Community Resource Management Committee area is taking its mission directly to the people. This involves holding meetings across the Ankasa Conservation Zone, engaging everyone from hunters and market women to local elders and school children. At the forefront of this effort is Thomas Kwao, the Krima chairman.
So close season itself is generally going to help us to at least protect the animals for that particular period. I am urging all the 8 communities which forms part of the Krima, the Amokwa Krima, to observe the close season. Observing the close season is a nature call. It is core mandate of the Krima to fully participate in all aspects of the close season.
The sensitization drive is a delicate dance between enforcement and empathy. The officers know they cannot arrest their way into conservation success. True change, they believe, will come when the community sees itself as a guardian of the wildlife, not just its consumer.
We held a particular community forum, and the community members themselves confessed that right now, the sound of guns that they used to hear, they don't hear such again. It means the close season, they've actually started observing the close season, and it's because of the sensitization that they have actually made before the close season started. So for now, this landscape in particular, illegal hunting have actually reduced drastically due to the work of the Community Resource Management Committees.
Irama Smith, TV3 News, Western Region.
I have decided.
And more news this afternoon. Dozens of Ivorians in Ghana on Saturday held a protest against developments ongoing in their country ahead of this year's election. The protest was against the incumbent President Alassane Ouattara's 4th term bid and the disqualification of some key opposition candidates. The election comes amid concerns from opposition groups over political freedoms and calls for credible, transparent polls. Incumbent President Alassane Ouattara is widely expected to secure a 4th term in the 25th October vote. His most serious potential challengers have been disqualified, among them former President Laurent Gbagbo and former banker Tijani Thiam. The election will determine who leads the country for the next 5 years at a time of heightened political tensions and economic ambition. The former First Lady of Ivory Coast, Simone Gbagbo, is the surprise inclusion in the list of 5 candidates cleared to contest the upcoming presidential election.
And now a senior health official has issued a warning to Ghanaian women, urging them to avoid turning to an unverified herbal treatment upon a breast cancer diagnosis. And the practice, according to health officials, is contributing to the nation's alarmingly high late-stage diagnosis and mortality rates.
Awareness and socioeconomic barriers. With advanced treatment facilities like radiotherapy unit concentrated in urban centers and a crippling out-of-pocket cost for chemotherapy, many patients see traditional medicine as their only accessible and affordable option. But a midwifery officer at the Menchia District Hospital, Izidin Meimuna Muntaka, during a breast cancer awareness health walk in Kumasi, emphasized the grave risk of self-diagnosis and unregulated treatment.
For the local, I wouldn't say it's bad, but my issue is whoever is giving you that medicine, does the person they scan or mammogram or any diagnostic test to confirm whether it's a disease or something? If not, please just avoid it, because you don't know what will hinder it to increase. If the person doesn't have any diagnostic measures to detect it, just avoid it.
To address this systemic failure, Memuna made a direct appeal to the government.
The cost of this treatment is very high. The radiation and a whole lot, the chemo, they are so costly. So if the government or any other organization can come in board to help subsidize the rate or the cost and everything, it will really help.
Breast cancer remains the most common cancer and leading cause of cancer-related death among women in Ghana. The call to action is that Ghana must combat the disease on multiple fronts by demystifying the dangers of unverified treatment, expanding access to affordable care, and reinforcing life-saving message that a simple screening can make all the difference.
And now the Ghana Optometric Association is calling on the government to urgently absorb more optometrists into public health facilities, particularly in underdeserved or undeserved district hospitals. Well, this move is critical to address the severe lack of accessible vision care in rural Ghana and to stem the tide of professionals leaving the country for better opportunities.
In many parts of rural Ghana, seeing an optometrist can mean a long and expensive journey. This lack of access to basic vision care is a problem the Ghana Optometric Association says is solvable. At its 13th annual conference, the association noted that integrating more optometrists into the public health system is essential not only for expanding services, but also for elevating professional standards nationwide.
We have roughly about 500, but not all our members are in the country. Some of them have traveled. So we are looking at roughly between 200 and 250, and most of them can be absorbed into the government sector to be able to assist with eye care in the various district hospitals.
The registrar of the Allied Health Professions Council, Dr. Shirazu Ishaq, announced plans for a new college to advance professional training and specialization.
And one key project that I think we wanted to take serious and develop the professionals is what we call the Ghana College of Allied Health Professionals, which the council has made available some seed money to be used to set up the Ghana College of Allied Health Professionals, to train these allied health professionals to become consultants and specialists in the country. And when we do this, what will happen is that those professionals will attain the needed skill. They'll be able to be trained properly and provide their services to the country. And in doing so, the healthcare delivery of the country will be significantly improved.
The conference also features scientific sessions dedicated to low vision rehabilitation. These sessions equipped practitioners with advanced techniques to assist patients for whom conventional treatments like glasses, medicine, or surgery are insufficient. Experts stress that with proper training and assistive devices, individuals with low vision can regain their independence and improve their quality of life.
Away from the Ashanti region, the Ghana Free Zones Authority is stepping up efforts to boost local participation in the sector as part of a broader strategy to strengthen the economy as the USA imposes higher tariffs. The Deputy CEO reaffirmed the authority's commitment to supporting city stability by enhancing export-driven investment. In the face of recent economic challenges, the Ghana Free Zones Authority says it is working to ensure the city's continuous strength is sustained through earnings from exports. The Deputy CEO emphasized the importance of the Free Zones Authority in Ghana's economic recovery.
Not too distant past, we saw the performance of the cedi against the dollar. It was very sad. But now you can see that the cedi has regained its strength. In fact, yesterday, when I look at the Bloomberg records, you realize that the cedi has dropped to about 10.62. The dollar has dropped, so the cedi is doing very well now. And I think that investors will want to hear this because it plays a significant role in what they import.
He added that the wide variation between the values of import and export of companies operating under the Free Zones program has highlighted the significant impact the initiative has made on the country's balance of trade.
Ghana is the destination now. It's a new wave, and the government's research agenda is actually something we are seeing and we are feeling it.
The Ghana Free Zones Authority was established in 1995 by an Act of Parliament to enable the creation of free zones in Ghana and to regulate activities within them as well as for related purposes. For our very first commercial break, we'll be back shortly. Stay with us.
For the grand finale on Sunday, October 19th at the National Theatre at
Welcome back. You're still watching Weekend Central. Now in more news, the Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism has expressed concern over the challenges public-private companies face in clearing their goods at the port. Speaking to the media during a working visit to Atlantic Life Science, the chairman of the committee expressed concern about the number of challenges faced by some public-private partnership companies.
Members of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism, as part of their visit, toured sections of the company's facilities to assess its day-to-day operations. Management of the company raised concern about the challenges it is currently facing.
We have the intention to continuously run 24-hour production of our products. And we believe that with government support, we'll be able to not just start but sustain this 24-hour operations. Water is also a challenge for us because we are producing intravenous infusions, which when you take one bottle is 95% water. Because we don't have direct direct continuous supply from Ghana Water, we need to send trucks to buy from the community water supply. Stable power supply is also required, especially with the production of the fasteners, because these are cold chain products, which when producing, we don't want to break the cold chain.
In response, the chairman of the committee said the challenges faced by the company will be addressed with the support of Parliament.
Because they are needed. This vaccine production in Ghana has become extremely important. And this is one of the two companies that are working hard. As we speak, like you have seen, they have already started producing anti-snake venom. And I think that is a storm in the teacup of the company and a breakthrough for Ghana, because this particular company produces all these drugs not only for the consumption of Ghanaians, but the entirety of Africa. This committee is going to form subcommittees to detail them to these areas, to negotiate with the institutions concerned for us to see the way out.
Atlantic Life Sciences was established on February 2nd, 2017 as the 107th factory under the government One District, One Factory initiative. The Ghana Exim Bank played a key role in making these achievements possible.
Regional Help is up next. Selected senior high schools in the Eastern region are calling for clear guidelines to implement the institutionalized Feed Ghana project in schools. They have raised concerns about possible resistance from parents, especially regarding student involvement in farming activities.
The institutionalized farming initiative is part of efforts by the Food and Agriculture Ministry to ensure that selected senior high schools and other institutions actively engage in farming. This is aimed at boosting food production and improving nutritional outcomes for the institutions and the country at large under the Feed Ghana project. While the school heads welcome the initiative, they're calling for clearer implementation frameworks to avoid resistance.
In fact, it's a very good initiative in the sense that students will be happy because there will be varieties in the food that they eat. And Septec here, we have a vast land. There is no need for the government to bring us money before we'll be able to get them in our school.
But my challenge with it has been the instance where the society, the community, parents see that engagement as a form of punishment, not allowing the awards to be in class.
The Ghana Prison Service also called for the timely provision of farm input and logistical support to enhance their involvement.
We believe that when we also indulge in serious agriculture, it's going to also improve the well-being of the prisoners in Ghana. We are more than ready, and we have a few challenges in terms of logistics, like tractors, farmlands, available farmlands, and, you know, the inputs to work with.
The new Jabeno Municipal Chief Executive Samuel Adongo urged students and parents to see farming as a means of livelihood and not as a punishment.
It is not that we are going to use students on farms for them to abandon their books. There are a lot of equipment that can also facilitate the farming activities. It is also a form of learning. They also get opportunity to be involved in this practical aspect.
The Deputy Director for the Feed Ghana project, Gordon Esobonting, says feasibility studies ongoing in the selected senior high schools and security institutions would inform sustainable models for institutional farming in selected senior high schools and security institutions nationwide.
We are definitely going to follow through in the subsequent years. And with what I'm gathering, I hope that next year and the years, to come, the concept will be embraced wholeheartedly in the various institutions.
Now, Sunyani, the Bono regional capital has been struggling with poor infrastructure, sanitation issues and store development projects affecting residents' quality of life. In a bid to galvanize support to push the development agenda of the area, the Paramount Chief Odifo Ojiamansan Boahin Koko II has, at a meeting with business and government leaders, revealed new initiatives aimed at revitalizing the community. A report by Claude Kumi Ebisa.
In recent times, Sunyani's inhabitants have voiced their increasing dissatisfaction with prevailing living conditions, appealing for targeted efforts to foster improvement across various sectors. Residents have expressed urgent needs for substantial infrastructure development, effective sanitation strategies, youth employment opportunities, and an ecosystem for sustainable growth and prosperity.
If you've been in this city for some time now, every single party that have been here have been crying over the years for development. With the names we heard of Sunyani years ago. So being Sunyani crying a catcher now with the narrative we've placed outside. Now if we show but now we shall form now Sunyani
roads infrastructure in the Sunyani municipality. We are nothing to write home about. Look at Berlin Top Road. Look at Berlin Top. As if the Berlin Top is also not part of Sunyani.
I believe that there should be a strategy, there should be a system that they are going to build that is going to help in the long run. Gradually, Sunyani is becoming worse.
In a decisive move to galvanize local development, the Paramount Chief of the Sunyani traditional area, Odifo Ojiamansan Boahin Koko II, engaged with key economic drivers of the region and articulated his visionary agenda for the future trajectory of Sunyani. He also called on business leaders and government officials to effectively participate in advancing Sunyani's growth. We are all lamenting that Sunyani is lagging behind in terms of development. Even though I am the chief, Sunyani belongs to all of us. So why don't all of us come together to ensure that Sunyani becomes better? Furthermore, in addressing concerns about the region's environmental health, the chief sternly admonished sub-chiefs against involvement in illegal small-scale mining, commonly referred to as Galamsey, emphasizing the dire repercussions that could follow such actions, including potential removal from their leadership roles. I have never heard of any issue concerning Galamsey here in Sunyani ever since I was installed as the Paramount Chief. I therefore caution Nanano to desist from any such act. Otherwise, you will lose your position as a chief.
Are we going to feel comfortable to live here?
Following these discussions, several residents expressed their enthusiasm for the chief's forward-thinking initiatives.
He's just barely 6 months into office as a chief, but he has envisaged that there should be some attempt to build the Sunyani that we need. Obviously, we can be certain that Sunyani will take off. It's something that is commendable. He is willing to listen to you as to what you can also contribute to the development of Sunyani.
Claude Kumi, Ebisa, TV3 News.
You're still watching Weekend Central. We'll go for a second break. We'll be back with more news. To stay with us.
Need your attention.
Welcome back from the break. Government is intensifying science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM education in regions like Western North, equipping students with skills to turn local resources into innovation. This practical approach to learning is aimed at closing the gap between classroom theory and the application of science to solve real-world problems.
Ghana is actively scaling up its STEM efforts, recognizing the necessity of a scientifically literate workforce to compete globally. The dynamic push for STEM is designed to impact millions of students nationwide. Recent government policies have seen the percentage of general science students in senior high schools raise from 12% to 24%. This is a direct attempt to meet the Ministry of Education 60% science-related admission mandate at the tertiary level. Specialized STEM centers are being established across the country, providing dedicated facility for practical instruction in robotics, coding, 3D printing, and engineering science. This is preparing a generation to fill the 9 million digital jobs and leverage the nearly $4 billion revenue potential projected for Ghana's digital economy by 2030.
It radicalizes what the students, hitherto has been abstract to them. I think the students having access to that headset will enable them to be able to visualize and build concepts around, practical issues that affect our daily lives.
For the youth in the Western North region, this practical turn in STEM education offers a particularly potent advantage.
Western North region, as I've already said, has a very huge advantage because of where we find ourselves, the resources, the environment. I mean, it gives us a leverage in terms of our technological advancement.
The integration of practical hands-on STEM ensures that the Western North region, with its unique environmental leverage, is not just a source of raw materials, but a cradle for the next generation of Ghanaian technological pioneers.
Let the experiences you gain here not end on Friday, but fuel your studies and your dreams for years to come.
Most of the youth, some just finished JHS or some just finished SHS. So we are also trying to accommodate the community together with the students.
That's all time will permit us. But Judith, have you been following GMB?
Oh yeah, quite I have. And I'm excited for those who are finalists today. We know that today is the finals, and we're expecting the best person to win.
Yeah, sure.
And so you need to come to your numbers, of course. Yeah. Yes.
And maybe I'll take you out tonight to the National Theatre. I can't wait to see Sina Soul perform tonight.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We also have hot issues at 1 p.m. right after this bulletin, so make sure you stick and stay with TV3. That's how we wrap up the bulletin right here on Weekend Central. My name is Judith Brown. I've been doing this with...